Clause 109. It's about Chief Executive to issue certificate in relation to question of whether national security or state secret is involved. The amendment is in Clause 109, Subclause 1. The last line of this provision, we propose to change secret to secrets. And you remove the word is in the heading of the clause, is that right? Yes. Yes, we remove the word is and we change the singular form to plural form for state secret. Legal advisor. Now the heading reads, Chief Executive to issue certificate in relation to question of whether national security or state secret is involved. Should we keep is or should we not keep it? Is it your intent to remove the word is because there might be some confusion? If we use secrets, that is the plural form in the heading, it should be national security or state secrets are involved, or in the singular form, secrets is involved, but it sounds clumsy. Oftentimes for heading, we only include the keywords. Therefore, we propose to remove is here. I also find it a bit strange because involved may read as the past tense of the verb. It should be read as a passive voice of the verb instead of the past tense of the verb. Mrs. Regina, if you have the same question, I think we should keep the verb is because the noun should be question instead of secrets. That is in relation to question of whether national security or state secret is involved. Is here refers to the noun question instead of secret. I think there is some grammatical issue here. Please take this into consideration. Any further questions, legal advisor? Ms. Carmen Khan. Chairman, page 54, clause 102, footnote 34. According to the administration, it proposes to change order into orders. I'm referring to page 54 of the English version. Footnote 34. According to the administration, there is a typo in the English text. That is clause 102, subclause 2. The administration proposes to change the singular form into plural form. It should be changed to a third person singular instead of changing it into plural form. That's why you change it to orders. Please continue. Please consider our suggestion on clause 109. Have you walked us through the amendment in subclause 1 of clause 109? All right, please move on to clause 111. Chairman, for amendments that only concern the English version, we have gone through all the amendments. The other amendments are made in accordance with the Chinese version. Thank you. Legal advisor, do we have further drafting or legal issues that we have to look at? We have looked at the Chinese and English text, and we confirm that we have covered all the issues. We have gone through all the committee stage amendments for both the Chinese and English version of the bill. Members, do you endorse the amendments proposed by the administration? Since we have completed the relevant discussion, I want to ask members if we agree with the to resume the second reading of the bill as early as possible. All right. Secretary for Justice, Mr. Paul Lam, please make a concluding remark. Thank you, Chairman. On behalf of the SAR government, I'd like to thank the Chairman, the Deputy Chair of the Bills Committee, as well as every member and the Secretariat, legal advisor of this committee, as well as other personnel. You have, in the past week, worked day in and day out so that we can complete the scrutiny of this bill. On the 8th of March, I mentioned in my opening remarks that there are 5 main points to the bill. It is drafted with the common wording we use in our current legislation, and it allows the public to understand the content of the bill, and also it achieves convergence, complementarity, as well as compatibility with the Hong Kong NSL. Also, we have made reference to the other overseas jurisdiction practices. However, we also have to stick to the situation in Hong Kong as we draft the bill. It also helps plug the loophole of the existing legal system. I hope we managed to convince all members of this committee as well as the general public that the SAR government has stuck to the 5 principles that I mentioned just now. Members raised valuable suggestions, comments, as well as questions as we scrutinize the bill. It also allows the administration to respond. 2 important objectives have been achieved. It allows us to reflect on how we can improve the drafting of the bill, and that's why we submitted the CSA this morning. Also, it allowed us room to respond to members' questions, and the scrutiny of the bill also allowed us the opportunity to let the public know what national security risk we may face and what kind of difficulties we may come across as we implement the bill. The legislature and the executive has worked together to complete the Article 23 legislation. That is, we showed our determination to legislate for Article 23. We are very close to completing our mission. We have already waited for nearly 27 years to complete the legislative exercise. We have to ensure that we are implementing a high quality bill. And the Bills Committee's work proves that we are ensuring that the bill is a high quality one. I hope that we can complete the legislative exercise as early as possible so that we can all have peace of mind and work together and focus on working towards the well-being and livelihood of the general public.
Mr. Chris Tang. Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to thank all members of the Bills Committee for scrutinizing the bill over the past week. We raced against the clock to scrutinize the bill of safeguarding national security, and I also thank, in all sincerity, legal advisors as well as members for their very valuable comments. We have incorporated these comments into the amendments in order to improve the Safeguarding National Security Bill. I'd like to point out that the Hong Kong SAR government has the responsibility for implementing 528 Decision National Security Bill as well as the law that upholds national security. to make sure that the relevant mechanism is complete and practicable so that we can effectively safeguard national security. We will also local legislation in relation to safeguarding national security is in line with Hong Kong NSL. I need to emphasize human rights and rights of citizens will be better protected as these are in line with one another. Safeguarding national security is to better protect citizens of Hong Kong as well as other persons in Hong Kong. We need to protect the freedoms, the rights, as well as the property and investments in Hong Kong. These are protected by law. National security offenses target a minority of people who would like to sabotage the safety of Hong Kong. We need to protect the freedoms and rights of the people in Hong Kong. We also need to cement the status of Hong Kong, strengthen Hong Kong's advantage so that other activities can continue to be implemented in Hong Kong. In A3 of Ming Pao, I'd like to point out there is a misleading article, and I have to strongly condemn such an article. The headline is that Article 23 empowers the Chief Executive CE in Executive Council, the media, that is, the offenders can be sent to mainland. An ordinary person may misunderstand that Article 23 has provisions that regulate media behavior, and there are some offenses that can send offenders to mainland China, but this is incorrect. This is false. The Safeguarding National Security Bill does not have any provisions on media. They don't target media at all. All these offenses will be heard in Hong Kong. Well, I think this title is incorrect. It is evil. As I said, these are wrong ideas. These are wrong headlines. These headlines may affect Hong Kong people. They may make people of Hong Kong misunderstand Article 23 and give rise to unnecessary concerns. As a team leader of the rebuttal team, I need to strongly condemn the report of Meng Pao. This report once again affects the credibility of Meng Pao. I understand that Meng Pao has already made clarification and apology online, but damage has been done. I hope that Meng Pao can mend his ways, correctly report Article 23 as well as other relevant reports. These are the basic principles of the media, and I believe that Meng Pao is in a better position than I am. Basic law, international conventions, covenants, that is ICCPR and ISESCR, are applicable to local legislation. Common law and Article 5 of the Hong Kong NSL mention the basic principle of the rule of law. This will stay applicable to local legislation and the offenses under local legislation. We have already finished discussing all the offenses under the Safeguarding National Security Law. They have also provided for defense as well as suitable circumstances and provisions. Criminal intent will have to be proven. Those innocent will not be on the wrong side of the law inadvertently. These mechanisms have been seriously considered. There are also sufficient limitations. All these are in full compliance of the basic law. I hope the Legislative Council will resume the second reading debate as soon as possible, as well as the third reading of the bill, so the gap can be plugged in terms of safeguarding national security. There will also be fewer national security risks. The mechanism of safeguarding national security will also be improved further. This has shown that the executive and the legislature have resolved to safeguard national security. The earlier we finish the legislative exercise, the earlier we can safeguard national security. On behalf of the Hong Kong SAR government, I'd like to thank the Legislative Council once again. I'd like to thank the DOJ and the Security Bureau for their tireless work. Your professionalism showcases the result oriented approach and high efficiency of the current term government. I'd like to thank you in all sincerity. This is my concluding remarks. Thank you, Chairman. Since last Friday, on the 8th of March, the government gazetted the Safeguarding National Security Bill. On the very same day, the Legislative Council convened a meeting in the morning to deal with the first reading and the second reading of the bill. On the very same day in the afternoon, the Bills Committee also started clause by clause scrutiny of the bill in the afternoon of last Friday. The subcommittee and the Bills Committee have held a total of 25 meetings, almost 50 hours of scrutiny of the bill. The Bills Committee have already convened meetings 7 days in a row, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. There was also preparatory work. We have already finished reviewing policy issues of the bill, clause by clause scrutiny, as well as the scrutiny of the committee stage amendments have been completed. We are in the final stretch of the scrutiny of the bill. All members of the Bills Committee have discharged their responsibilities, scrutinizing every single clause in great detail. As a chairman of the Bills Committee, I didn't draw any line in terms of the time. I let members ask, speak, and air their views. I didn't stop any member of the Bills Committee or any official from the government from speaking or answering questions. We spent over 1 hour scrutinizing Clause 76 and over 1 hour scrutinizing Clause 113. If my memory serves me correctly, scrutinizing Clause 113 took us more than 1 hour 20 minutes. There were also many clauses on which we spent more than half an hour. This is not common. Members asked to the point questions. I didn't need to question the relevance of the questions raised by members. This shows that members are fully prepared, and I also came to notice more senior members writing on their professionalism and experience raised questions to the administration. Less senior members also ask thought-provoking questions. Some of the members are less senior in this Bills Committee, and this has a positive impact on the succession on the Legislative Council. I need to thank members for your professionalism and devotion into the scrutiny of the bill. As I said, scrutinizing the bill as early as possible does not mean that we are reckless in our scrutiny. I thank the administration for your resolve and sense of great responsibility. You have been responding to members' questions with great devotion. A rough estimate shows that members have asked over 1,000 questions on the bill, or I should put it this way, over 1,000, and by far more than 1,000 questions. The administration worked hard to answer each and every single question asked by the members of the Bills Committee. They cleared up misunderstandings and let the public know the legislative intent and the relative specifics. I also thank the administration for taking on board our views, being receptive to our ideas. I also need to thank the Secretariat and the team. They also worked very hard back office. The officials could focus on scrutinizing the bill. The marathon style scrutiny of the bill left us with very few time to have lunches and dinners. We spent much time scrutinizing the bill. This shows the high quality governance and the discussion of governance or politics in the Legislative Council. I also thank the President of the Council, all members of the Bills Committee, be they officials, members, or staff members. Their professionalism and contributions are witnessed by society, and these are all seen by society. Their work just cannot be doubted or smeared by people with ulterior motives. I believe when the bill resumes a second reading debate in the Legislative Council, all members will do their level best to plug the last gap in terms of safeguarding national security. As the chief executive said, the earlier we can finish the legislative exercise, the earlier we can safeguard national security. I believe all members will take part in this very important task. I thank all members. As S4J and the S4S said, we need to complete the legislative exercise as soon as possible, as the Bills Committee has already finished the scrutiny of the bill. I suggest that the Bills Committee, I should report to the House Committee tomorrow the work on the scrutiny of the bill. I believe members will also support my decision. There's no any other business. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.